Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. Welcome to the Amud Yomi Shiur Ahavas Shalom Bes Shemesh. We are learning yet another amazing Amud of Gemara Daf Nun Amud Aleph. In the middle of the page, a little bit below the middle, there's a Mishnah. That's where we are. Mishnah in Kiddushin. Ha'omer l'shluchoi tzeh v'kadosh li'isha ploinis b'mokoim ploini. A man told his shliach. We know that a man can tell a shliach to be mekadesh somebody for him, the messenger. And he told him, go be mekadesh for me, isha ploinis, a specific woman, in a specific place. Go be mekadesh to me, the woman, in one place. Well, where's the place? In London. Golach v'kitcha b'mokem acher. He was mekadesh her in Manchester. Eina mekudeshes. She's not mekudeshes. Yeah, because if he said mekadesh to me, specific woman, a specific place, he wants her to be miskadesh to him only in London, not in Manchester. He wants one place, not the other. Arehi b'mokum ploini. But if he said, be mikadesh to me that woman, and you know what? She happens to be in London. She is in London. He didn't say, be mikadesh her for me in London. He said, effect, she is in London. Then the kitcha b'mokum acher, he was mikadesh her in Manchester. Then arezo mekudeshes. She's still mekudeshes. Why? Because when you state the fact she is in London, you're not saying be mekadesh her in London. You're saying she's in London, which means he's just, as we said, Ma'areh Mokum, he just wants to make it more convenient for him. And he said, you know where she is? She's in London. In other words, that's just Sham Timtze'ena, says Rashi. You'll find her there. I'm trying to just facilitate it so you find her in London. And therefore, I'm just telling you a fact, but it's not a kpeda. We don't interpret the words as him dafka makpid being particular and exclusive, that only in London shall be miskadesh. Says the Gemara, that not nami gabi gitin. The same Mishnah, the same idea is also written regarding gitin. Ha'omer tnu get zel ishti b'moko employni. Very sad. The end of the story. He says to someone, give a get to my wife in a what? Give a get to my wife b'mokum ploini in a specific place, but not on la b'mokum acher apostle. If he says give the get to my wife Prince Abela in London, and they gave it to her in Manchester, then apostle, because then we assume that when he says give it to her in this place, it means in this place, no other place. But if he said harei b'mokum ploini, if he said, give a get to my wife, wherever, we assume he means wherever you see her, because he just said, give a get to my wife, she's in London. Then, he gave it to her in a different place in Manchester, kosher. And the question is, why does the Mishnah have to repeat the same idea both in Kiddushin and in Gittin? Yeah, it's the same idea exactly. In both cases, we say that if you say, give her the get in this place, it's a condition. And if you say, give her the get, and she is in that place, and it's not a condition. Why does the Mishnah have to say both in Gittin and Kiddushin the same idea? Answers the Gemara. Diyashmin and Gabi Kiddushin. Regarding Kiddushin, what's the idea of Kiddushin? Obviously, the Mokoim de la Kurva Kaosi. He wants to bring her close to him. He wants to be Makadesher, live with her, be her husband, be her beloved husband for life, forever and ever. And therefore, what? Why is he makpid on one specific place? In other words, what does he care where the Kiddushin take place? What does he care if the Kiddushin, he's anyhow not going to be there. There's Corona and war and he broke 2 legs, He's not going to be there anyways. Why should he care if the Kiddushin take place in London or Manchester, right? What does it make a difference? In Kiddushin, it's sensible to say that. Why? Behai Asra, he knows that in London people like him. He's well known there and people like him in London. Rachmuli, I know the people there, they like me, they love me, the people there. They will not say negative things about me in that place. They won't say divrei gnai. In other words, those Kiddushin are not a done deal. There's always a concern that when the shliach comes to be mekadesh a woman, he's going to ask people, where's Prince Abela? He's going to go Golders Green, Stamford Hill. Where's this lady? I want to be mekadesh her. So all kinds of yachneyenta people say, who are you? Are you the shliach of where? No, nothing personal. The Yachniyat is all over the world, not just there, And they'll say, who are you? Where do you come from? Him? That guy? And it's going to tell the lady, are you sure it wouldn't be miskadish to that man? Yeah, don't you know? He votes for the wrong party, Rahman al. Yeah, he's not a good man. So in this place where he wants the Kiddushin to take place, he's not concerned over that, right? Yeah, he says people love me there. They will not besmirch me, my name. So therefore he wants that place. But the High Asra in the other place in Manchester, Sanuli, they hate me over there. Over there, I don't have a good name. Memali mili iluye, they will say bad things about me. In other words, by Kiddushin, it makes sense that the preference is the real preference. You have to understand. He didn't make a condition. You notice in the Mishnah that what you asked yesterday, Alan, you should ask now. In other words, he didn't say Alminas. We interpret his words as be Mekadesh, Prince Abela in London as in London only. Now we understand why. Because when it comes to Kiddushin, it's very sensitive. I know London is my, home field. That's where I feel at home. Everyone loves me. I know that there she can be Miskadesh, invite people to the wedding, whatever, and nobody will say anything bad. Nobody will deter her. Aval gabe gitin, when it comes to gitin, though, the lerchuka kaasi, gitin, unfortunately, he wants to be marchik her, to distance herself from him, to break away from her. Ema, he would say, lo ichpasle, I don't care. Let them besmirch me as much as they want. More the better, okay? Let her hate me. To get rid of her quicker. I don't care what they say about me, anyways. And therefore, the chiddush is that even by Gittin, and soon we'll show you why. The chiddush is that the Mishnah in Gittin told me that in Gittin also the person is particular about the address, about the location. Location, as they say. Even by Gittin, location makes a difference, as we're going to see why, but it's necessary. Had I learned Kiddushin, I wouldn't have automatically derived Gittin from Kiddushin. No. So why in Gittin, why do people care in Gittin where the get takes place? When it comes to Gerushin, I wouldn't have known automatically that the same applies to Kiddushin. You know why? Yeah, even today, when unfortunately there's a lot of divorce cases, to be divorced in the frum world is not exactly a badge of honor, right? Yeah, divorce parents, divorce is nishka shein ezach. Yeah, Rashi himself says, I want to quote Rashi. Rashi says, "Hamigarshes ishto gnai huloi." A person divorcing his wife is a gnai. Gnai in English, a disgrace for him. It's something disgraceful for him that he's megarsh his wife. So therefore there is that concept of what will people say exists also in Gerushin. Why? The high asra nichale de nivzi. Yeah, in this place where people anyhow hate me, I don't care. In other words, you know why? Not the other way around. I don't care that she gets the get in London. Nobody knows me. People don't like me. I don't care. Nobody knows me in London. So even if people hear that Chaim Yankel, Punkel, whoever, he sent a shliach to be megarish the wife, I don't care. People don't know me, or I'm anyhow a lost case over there. Okay, there I don't care about my bad name or good name. But but when it comes to, I don't know, Manchester, they like me. I have a good name. People there will think that I'm divorced. I don't want people to know that I'm getting divorced over there. There, I want to keep good reputation. Therefore, and it makes sense, yes, and we follow that, and therefore he's only allowed to be Megarsher where the Meshalech said, and not in a different place. Aval Gabi Kiddushin, Emaloich Pasley. When it comes to Kiddushin, I don't care if people know that I'm getting married. It's a very nice thing to get married. No, got married, amazing. All over the world, and I want people to know that I got married. And therefore, maybe maybe I don't care. Even if you said London, it's Lav Dafka. London. Yeah, but mitzidi, marry wherever you want. I don't mind people knowing that I'm getting married. It's not a secret. Sricha. That's why we need both cases. In other words, both svars are true. In Kiddushin, a person who says, be Mekadesh, me a wife in London, he means London and only London because Kiddushin is sensitive. It's not over till it's over. Didn't you hear all these horror stories? There are horror stories. People canceled, mamish, people canceled Chasana like a day before. I've heard. Yeah, they heard bad things or something came up. They canceled the day before. It can happen in London, Manchester, Bnei Brak, Yerushalayim, New York, Los Angeles, Tokyo, where. Yeah, in other words, it can happen. And therefore, he wants to keep it, where he feels safe. That's where he wants to apply the Kiddushin, not in any other place. Comes to Gittin, the other way around. He wants to keep his good name. I mean, I believe eventually people will know that he's divorced, but he doesn't want that to be common knowledge as of now. Yeah, maybe he wants to keep it, under the cover for now. And therefore, when he said, I want her to be Mizgarish in a specific place, he means only this place and no other place, right? And therefore, that's a Chiddush by both Gittin and Kiddushin. Weiter. Next Mishnah. Says the Heilige Mishnah, Amikadesh es Isha. Al menas she'en alea nidorim. Oh, a person is mekadesh a woman on condition. Al menas, by the way, Ellen, al menas does mean condition. Al menas is on condition she'en alea nidorim. So he made a condition. I mekadesh a woman al menas that she doesn't have any nidorim. How shall I say? Applying to her from before the marriage. A woman who is above bas mitzvah, above 12 and a half, she's a gdola, right? Already completely gdola. She got married very late after she was older than 12 and a half. She's 13, 14, 15, or maybe she's 30 or 40. And you tell me, if a woman is noider and neder, right? She made a neder. I don't say the word vow because it's not exactly such amazing halachic translation. What's neder? She says, koinam, olai, carbohydrates. She's very, very serious into Atkins. That's it. And she has tremendous yitzhar for carbs. Atkins is the man. And what? She made a neder. Any carbohydrates are konam alai, are osir on me. They're treif for me. They're osir on me like a korban. Yeah, that's how nedarim work. So now this woman, who annuls her neder? No, too old. Exactly. I said she's older than 12 and a half. The father has no rights over her. And she's not married. So, I mean, she could go to the rabbi, but she didn't. She still has neder, and she may have, by the way, you should know, today the mentality is very different, so people don't understand. But in the past, women had this issue with nedarim. Yeah, like today you have, I don't know, diets, chocolates, women have their issues. So back then, women had nedarim was a thing. A lot of women, more than men, so it sounds like to me from general knowledge, women would be allowed into nedarim. She's neither not allowing herself this, not to enjoy that, not to wear colorful clothes. I don't know. She went to some fanatic rabbits and Shiur. I don't know. Ich weiß nicht. I don't know. All kinds of things. The kids are the woman emotional and quick to decide. So she is prone to be noider. And that's a big headache for the men. Now, if she's noider after marriage, he can annul that within the same day, right? He can be Mayfair the neder, not Matir, Mayfair. Yeah? Mayfair. Masha Einken, what? When she comes with a neder from before the marriage, he's stuck. Yeah, you can maybe convince her to go to the chacham. She will or she won't. Yeah. So you may marry a woman, and a day later, you want to go on a bus. She says, "No, I'm noider from bus. You want to go buy, I don't know, ice cream? Noider from ice cream. You want to go with her to, I don't know, amusement park? Noider from Mickey Mouse. Yeah, in other words, she's noider from it. It's crazy. So a person may make a t'nai while under the huppah, making what? What's a t'nai? I'm mekadesh you al menas that you don't have any existing previous nedorim. You are nedorim free. Yeah, online shidduchim looking for nedorim-free woman. Yeah, so okay, so this woman, interesting. Today's resume or the CV of shidduchim don't write that. So that's what Chazal already said. People just shouldn't do nedorim and finish, right? So now let's say this man, what did he say? Mekadesh teisha al menas she'en la nedorim v'nimtzu ala nedorim. Oppa, liar, liar. In other words, she made him believe that what? That she has no nedorim. There are nedorim. After the chassan, she's neither from, I don't know, walking down the street. Yeah. Eina mikudeshes. She's not mikudeshes. Now, konsostam. She's konsostam. In other words, he was koineser without prior conditions. Yeah. He did not make any conditions. V'nimtzu aleh nedorim. He did not make the condition. But and all of a sudden, the day after the chassan, he sees that she can't eat anything yellow, red, and green and blue. I don't know, all kinds of nedorim. Yeah. So then what? Teitze shaloi biksuba. Oy, 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 oy. That's a big headache. She should go out. In other words, she should get divorced, yeah, from him, but without ksuba, which means, what does it mean she should go out? Go out means she requires a get. We require her to receive a get, meaning that the Kiddushin is good Kiddushin. If the Kiddushin was nothing, she doesn't need a get. If you require a get, it means that since it didn't specify, didn't stipulate, I don't want nedorim, therefore, what do we say? She needs a get. That's not so simple, though. Why? Because on the other end, we say she goes out without receiving a ksuba. Why not receive a ksuba? Not getting a ksuba means that it's her fault and she doesn't deserve a ksuba because something is wrong with her. But why? We say he didn't stipulate any conditions, right, about noim, and we said that the marriage is a good marriage. Explains Rashi, and I'm going to tell you something from the Ritva and from the Gemara over there. Rashi says, you're welcome to look at Rashi. It's about 4 lines or 5 lines from the bottom of the page. Line starts with the word Shaloi Biksuba. The Omar, the man says, even though I didn't specify it, it goes without saying that I'm not interested in Isha Nadronis. It's a headache. It's a liability. To be married with a woman full of Nadorim, I don't have to specify that. It's such a craze. So a man automatically is assumed not to want an Isha Nadronis. So what does she need to get? Why don't we say it's nothing? Aval gita baya midivreim misfeika. Oh, there's a suffix which Rabbanan apply here. Kema deloy parish. He did not specify. I don't want nedorim. Dil madai tenami nadronis. In other words, maybe that man who did not specify, we have a chash, we have a suffix. Maybe he doesn't mind nedorim. Didn't say anything. So we have a question about nedorim, whether he is or not, b'di'evid interested in a woman full of nedorim. Maybe one ned or two, I don't know. So therefore, we're mesupak. Sofek Eshesish is not a joke exactly. So leyeter bitachon, to be on the safe side, we say give her a get. So why don't you give her ksuba? So give her ksuba also. She
this negative thing.
You're saying she should have told him it's her fault. But as much as it's
What if she had she never told him?
I hear. He's saying, but it's a nice idea. But although the Gemara doesn't say that in Ksubas, you're saying the mere fact that she's a liar, that alone. So if so, I hear you.
Something commonplace in society.
Shush. No, but I'm saying alatzad that there is good marriage, and why do you give a get? Why do you give a get? Why do you give a get? Because there's 50% or 40% or 30% that he doesn't mind in the Dorim. If he does mind in the Dorim, so mitzad that also give her ksuba, because it's a suffix. Maybe you're okay with her neder of not eating tomatoes, so then give her ksuba on that side. On that side. Neder.
That, you know, I'll work 18 hours a day.
The Dorim are usually negative.
Apartment, you can eat off the floor.
She's OCD. Nedorim.
Only a negative?
Nedorim are usually negative. Shavua is usually positive, and Neder is usually negative. Yeah, koinam alai. There's much more of a lomdish answer. You guys should know it. Again, what's our argument? It's a suffix. It's a suffix whether she's married or not, right? So mitzad shasish, we say give her a get. Mitzad ksuba, what does she demand? Three things: kesef, money, and geld. Right? She's demanding, money. You give her money, misofek? No. Says the Ritva, heilige Ritva, hamoitzim mechaveroi, moitze lechem enoritz, hamoitzim mechaver lo varaya. Right? In other words, prove it. In other words, we're in besofik whether she deserves, whether she's married with ksuba or not. Maybe everything is amazing and good. She's married and he's happy and all is good. Maybe she's not married and he's not happy and everything is bad. Right? So mitzad the marriage, we say, misofik, you don't play around with Eshesish. Mitzad the money, she's demanding money from him. Demand money, prove it. And there's no way she can prove it. And she stays without the money. That's one of the few ways to explain it. That's the simplest way to live. The Gemara in Ksubas goes into it a lot, and that's one simple way. So the Ritva says it here. Ritva is my man, and I'm good, and I'm happy. It's interesting, though, what you say. I'm not completely denying what you say. It's an interesting idea. Okay. But now, what about Mumim? Konsastam. Sorry, excuse me. Al Menas Shenala Mumin. Oh, he married her, as you guys were mentioning before, on condition that she doesn't have any blemishes, any mumin, any physical problem. We're going to see what's considered mum by a woman. So, v'nimtu b'mumin, and really there's mumim that are found. Eina mikudeshes, she's not mikudeshes. The truth is, I have to admit, I did not prepare this question. I don't know what's the Kiddushin is. What's the Kiddushin is, Bava? I don't know. I honestly admit I don't know. What's the Kiddush? Of course, if you made a condition that there's no mumin, and there are mumin, of course she's not mikudeshes, right? Why should be a chashash? I don't know. I don't know what's a Kiddush. No. Nice, right, but therefore wrong. In other words, it says if the mum is something visible, then there is no such thing because then he saw it. And Al-Minas Ken, he married her. She has a big scar, on her nose. Yeah, she has a big tattoo on her face. I don't know. There you can see, even from Asharim date, you see the face. And Echnami, then you can't say that because he was Mekabel Olav. Yeah. But it's not the case. It's something hidden. Yeah. So, yeah. So still a question. If you have any answers, I'm honestly appreciate any answers. Comes the next stage. Konso Stam. He was Koiniser Stam In other words, he married her without making any stipulations or conditions. V'nimtzu b'mumin, same idea. All of a sudden, she has a mum. Then teitza shaloi b'ksuba, she should go out without ksuba. The same idea, right? Why? Go out because maybe he doesn't mind. He didn't specify anything in some men. Don't mind the mum. Maybe he loves her still. On the other hand, yeah, right. So therefore, the get for her to receive ksuba, that's a motzim chaveroi. Now, what are called mumin? Called, you have to erase the shin. Some girsos here don't leave. They take out, yeah, the letter shin because it's not a continuation. It's a new statement. Call a mumin a person koyanim, person benoshim. All the mumim that disqualify a kohen from working in Beis Hamikdash, also they disqualify, so to speak, a woman. Yeah, if the husband says, "I don't want mumin," what's called mumin? The ones of the kohanim. So nobody here says, well, they only says that it's mufursh b'choros. I took a peek at the Mishnah in B'choros. It says the kohen that his eyes are as big as the eyes of an eagle, of a calf, of a cow, or his eyes are as small as the one of a goose. It's a mum. Or let's say has an upper lip overhanging the lower lip, or lower lip that's bigger than the upper lip. Yeah, the lips are not the same, not same size, not exactly equal. These are visible. And also many invisible ones. So those mumin that pass the koyanim are also assumed to be the ones of the things. Let's say Jeshumas, she has like this ugly kind of wart under her hair, but sometimes she that's an example brought down. Sometimes when she combs her hair, you can see the wart. So that's considered the mum that would take her out because it's something you didn't see in the date. In the date, she had the hairdo that covered it. After the chassan, all of a sudden, she combs her hair indoors. Yeah, nobody sees in a way that's disgusting because all of a sudden she has like a wart over here. That's like a mum, for example. Or she has her breasts that are like too gassy and too fat in some funny way. So that's considered as a mum. That's obviously only by women, not by kohanim, because there's no women kohanos. So these mumim are the mumim of women. Yeah, anything that would not be attractive for the men. And if she didn't say anything, then bad news. Then she goes out and does not get the ksuba. Yeah. No. Nice. That's a very nice. That's not the chiddush of the Mishnah. Saying a nice idea. Alan says something nice. He's like a kohen. Oh, that's a very nice shmuz to give to women. A woman in her house is like a kohen Beis Hamikdash. Very nice. She does the holy job of raising the children, raising the husband. Very nice. No, I go for it. No, it's a very nice idea. Really, it's a nice idea. Says the Heilige Gemara. Vetnan nami gabik ksubas ki hai gavna. The same Mishnah also appears in Maseches Ksubas. The same thing, ki gavna. Same Mishnah. Why do you need both Mishnahs over here and over there? Ocho Kiddushin. It's trichalei tanek ksubas atu Kiddushin. This Mishnah is really a Mishnah that combines Kiddushin and Ksubas. Over here, the main part, the Mishnah is mentioned because of Kiddushin, and Mimela Ksubas is also mentioned. The concept of Ksuba, of her not receiving Ksuba, atu Kiddushin, is mentioned. But Derech Agav, taking a piggyback on the other part of the Mishnah, we also mentioned Ksuba. Also, over there, Ksubas, it's Trichalei. Over there, the Mishnah talks about Ksubas, and actually there, the Gemara talks about the Ksuba much more extensively. There, the main idea, the star of the show is Ksuba. Tani Kiddushin atu Ksubas. And Kiddushin over there is mentioned Agav Ksubas. Basically, the Gemara is telling you that it's not a crime for Rabbi Yehuda Anosi to mention the same Mishnah twice. It happens a few times. Yeah, I guess you're bigger mumcha Mishnah than I am. Yeah, but Mishnah, you go to the Rov's Mishnah here. So basically, Mishnahs may appear twice in Shas in different contexts. Yeah, here, Kiddushin is the main thing. There, Ksubas is the main thing. So this Mishnah, Kiddushin and Ksubas together, appears in both places. Now we are about to start today's Amud. Now let's give a small introduction. Today's it's to do with Purim. Seriously, to do with Purim indirectly. In the times of the Gemara, the Mishnah, there was a custom. Even today, actually, there's such a thing. There is, and that is the Chosan gives his Kala gifts after the Kiddushin. Today, it's what we call Erusin. It's not really Erusin, so we destroyed everything. But in the times of the Mishnah, the times of Chazal, a Chosan would be Mekadesh the girl, and then she'd be living by her parents before the Kiddushin and the Chuppah for how long? About a year. The normal thing is a year. It says, yeah, so during that year, they don't live together, but she's an Eshet Ish, she's completely Mekudeshes. What's the halacha? Eshet Ish, Mekudeshes. When will they live together? After the chuppah. Now, normally during that period, he would send her gifts with other people. Yeah, he would send a messenger to her house. Yeah, right, DHL. Yeah, whatever, UPS, and with a gift, all kinds of gifts to her, like we see by Rivka Imenu. Yeah, whatever that was before, after. There's a shadow was a Kiddushin over there, but conceptually, and these gifts are called Siblonos. That's the name. Siblonos are the gifts given from the chosen to the kala. However, before we continue, because I'm expecting questions already, sometimes there are situations, and that's actually the name of the game here. That's the issue here. Sometimes Siblonos are suspected, so to speak, to be the Kiddushin. Sometimes. Normally, there's Kiddushin, then there's Siblonos, and then there's the Chuppah eventually later on, yeah? Sometimes the Siblonos, the gifts, are Kiddushin. Yeah, we don't know. Maybe he secretly spoke to the girl after a date. They were in Shidduch. Shidchu. The term Shidchu appears all the times in Kiddushin, yeah? We see there was, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 dates. And then what? And then 2 people arrived in her house with very nice Siblonos. Maybe that Siblonos is the Kiddushin. Yeah, because we expect the next stage after Shidduchim and after the proposal, as we say today, whatever. Maybe the Siblonos are the Kiddushin, or maybe not. That's going to be the issue now. Okay, everything will be clear, Be'ezras Hashem. Says the Heilige Mishnah. Noshim b'shove. We're going to see now 3 cases in which a man did, well, Kiddushin that are just bad, that are dysfunctional and don't work. You tell me, can you be Mekadesh 2 women with 1 pruta? No. 1 divided to 2 is half. So each woman received half a pruta. Half a pruta, even according to Basilel, is not Kiddushin. It's not Kiddushin. Or, even worse, Isha achas bepochas b'shve pruta. He gave the lady what? Less than shove pruta. Well, we all know it's not Kiddushin. What's the Kiddush? Listen to what happened next. After the Kiddushin, he sent to her house of that woman who got less than pruta. He sent her Siblonos. Normally, traditionally, Siblonos. Look at Rashi. Doiroinos. What's a doron? By Yaakov Avinu. Gift. Doron is sheder chosen l'shloch la'arusosoi. Yeah, it's a doron, a matana, which is normally given from the chosen to the arusa. Eina mekudeshes. We say that she's not mekudeshes. What's the chiddush? Of course she's not mekudeshes. What do you mean mekudeshes? Father, what's the chiddush? Shemachmas kiddushin rishonim sholach, which means here you have to listen carefully because this is the basis for the entire sugya. If you get this right now, everything will be good, and if not, then not. Then eina mekudeshes. I'm reading Rashi again. Today's my day for Rashi. Says Rashi. No, before Rashi, let me give you an introduction. There are 2 ways how to interpret the behavior of this strange man. He did Kiddushin that are, excuse my language, lousy. Yeah, Kiddushin just don't work, right? Now he's giving her Siblonos. What does he mean? You can interpret this as one of 2 ways. When somebody does something bad and then he's doing something which seems to be good and normal, what does he mean? There are 2 ways to interpret such behavior psychologically. Explanation number 1. The guy is still stuck in his cuckoo land, in his la-la land. He thinks he was good Kiddushin. He doesn't go to Amud Yomi. He doesn't know that Kiddushin, less than Shvei Prut, is not Kiddushin. So he keeps believing his own fantasy, his own shtus, and he's continuing the process of Kiddushin. And he asks his friends in yeshiva, he's madrich. What do I do now after Kiddushin? Oh, now you have to give Siblonos. He gives Siblonos, goes to the jewelry store and buys a very nice necklace of pearls because that's what they do. And he still thinks that it's good Kiddushin, wrongly so, and the kid's giving the Siblonos. Is Shema Kudeshes? Clearly not. You may say it's not a Chiddush. No. It could be another pshat. And that is what? Another explanation. The guy got the light bulb aha moment and realized, he went back to Yeshiva and he said, what? He gave a lesson, Pruta? Are you out of your mind? She's not Mekudeshes. Wants to elegantly get out of it. So you know what he does? He's sending her that Siblonos with Kiddushin in mind, that those Siblonos will be the Kiddushin. How could that be? And he's not there. Don't tell me, Ellen, I know your questions. I prophesize, I'm telepathic with Ellen. We cannot ask the Choson what he thinks because he's away now. He went 3 weeks to New Zealand after sending her the Siblonos, and there's no Wi-Fi in the forest where he's staying. It's Boydedus. He's not around, okay? Fine. Now, we don't know how to interpret his behavior. He sent her a bunch of beautiful jewelry, pearls and gold, with two shlichim. That sounds like two edim. And he said, give it to her. Maybe he's now trying to elegantly get out of his stupidity from before. And now those Siblonos are not really Siblonos. Maybe those Siblonos are the Kiddushin. Maybe we should be choshesh to that he's fixing his old problem by not giving her Siblonos, which really are Kiddushin. Because Kiddushin maker don't have to be a cheap ring, can be anything. And these are given by two edim. Maybe, and they were mishadech before. Now, clearly, there was shidduchim before. Or everything else happened. They know each other, and she has in mind to be miskadish to him. So maybe we should say that. Look at Rashi. Enim kodesh, look at Rashi. We don't say Yodea ho yoshen kiddush of kiddushin. We don't say that he realized at some point that the first kiddushim are invalid, are inappropriate. The gomer v'sholach siblonis l'shem kiddushin. We don't say that those Siblonos now are the Kiddushin, the first ones, because we realize that the first step was nothing. Elam rinad, but rather, what do we say? Shemachmes Kiddushin Rishonim Sholach, and those were bad. He's Sholach the Siblonos, Machmes Kiddushin Rishonim, meaning he's continuing to send Siblonos a second stage after the first stage, which was zero. The Siblonos are zero, and everything is zero, and it's not Kiddushin, and that's halacha, and we're not even choishish to that. We don't require her to get a get from him when he comes back from New Zealand, and we don't know what's the story with him. We don't require a get, nothing. It's not Kiddushin. He started off with bad Kiddushin. It's all continuing off on the heels of the bad Kiddushin. So it's not Kiddushin, and therefore she doesn't need a get. And even though she's an Eshes Tish, she's not an Eshes Tish. Even though the topic is Eshes Tish, we're not Choshesh, no such thing. And similarly, Cotton Shekidesh. Oh, there's a little cutesy, was so cute. He's 12 years old, and he was Mekadesh her. Aret Mekadesh is sleep, but the Ba'adzu was Mekadesh a girl. The girl can be, let's say, more than Bas Mitzvah, otherwise it's the father. He was Mekadesh the girl under Bar Mitzvah. Does the Kiddushin work? No. In Ma'asekoton Klum. And then he gave her Siblonos after the Bar Mitzvah. Yeah, a week after the Bar Mitzvah, he sent her Siblonos, the set of K'tzatz HaChoshen that he got. He gave her a Siblonos, okay? So we say the same thing. We realize that he didn't realize. We assume that the Koton still believes that if the first Kiddushin is good, and he's wrong, the Siblonos continuing the bad path of non-Kiddushin, and there's no Kiddushin, and we don't say that he was woken up at some point and say, oh, these were bad Kiddushin, these were dysfunctional Kiddushin, now I'm giving her the gift as the Kiddushin now. No, we don't say that, but we assume all the way through that it's not Kiddushin. Yeah, and the Kiddushin are bad. Siblonos are Siblonos. They're supposed to come after Kiddushin. That's what he has in mind. And he's wrong from A to Z. Sorry, from A to Z. We have 3 Englishmen here, guys. Getting strong. Yeah. A to Z. Okay, good. What happens if is not a question?
And this is 2 AD to
Siblonos?
Yes. And with the Aiden, he says, I made a mistake.
No, if we know he said it, fine, no question. We don't know what he did. We don't know what's in his mind. We're trying to be mind readers. We don't know. Obviously, if he said to people, and we know that he said to them, to the Adim, to the 2 Adim, oh, I was wrong, this should be the Kiddushin. Of course it's Kiddushin. The problem here is that we don't know. The Adim ran away. The 2 people, which may or may not be Adim, they gave her the gift. They look like 2 from people that could be Adim, so maybe sent them as Adim on the Kiddushin. Where are they? Oh, gone. What's with her? She says she's asking the BSD, do I need a get or not? The guy's disappeared. He's in New Zealand. Oh, that's not a bad case, my friend. He's in Chutz La'aretz, Zedim are away. She wants to now marry a guy, and we don't know. That's a very good question. Yeah, maybe we should be concerned that the second gift, that the gift was really Kiddushin. Now, in order to marry her real beloved boy, the new one, maybe she needs a get. Kamash Malad, we don't require a get. Zuk the heilige Gemure. Says the Gemara, Vetzricha. How many cases here we had, my friends, of dysfunctional Kiddushin? 3. 1, he gave 1 pruta to 2 women. B, he gave half a pruta to 1 woman. 3, he was underage, was Makadisher. Why do we need to have so many cases of dysfunctional Kiddushin? Vetzricha. We need all 3 cases. Farvos. The Ishminan, of course, excuse me, In the first case, where he gave a pruta worth of something to two women, I did a kanafik mamoino minei toy. It makes sense that a person would make such a mistake. Why would he make such a mistake and stick to the mistake? The Ritva explains, he thinks nafik mamoino minei, he learned Kiddushin, but he wasn't really learning it well. He was spacing out. So then what did he do? He thinks, a chosen has to give a kalash of a pruta. He thinks that the chosen has to spend the pruta, regardless to how many kalas are there. You understand? So he thinks, I gave a pruta. There are two women and each one got half. I don't care about that. So that makes sense that this mistake would be a good, like a logical mistake in his mind, and he would stick to that mistake all the way through, the blindness and everything. Yeah. But if the guy gave half a pruta, Ema, I would have thought Yodea or Odom Yodea, Shen Kiddushin Tovs and Pochas Mishve Pruta. I would have thought, excuse me, every child knows that Kiddushin is Shove Pruta, no less than that. And therefore, Bechika Meshade Siblonos, when he's giving the Siblonos after Meshade, when he's sending with two people the gift to the girl, Adata the Kiddushin Kameshade. I would have thought, obviously, you realize the stupidity of what? Of Mekadesh with half a pruta. Now the Siblonos are the Kiddushin, they're not Siblonos. That's what not like the Mishnah said. I would have thought not like the Mishnah. Had you only told me these two cases of what? Kiddushin in the problems of Kiddushin, less value in the Kiddushin, I would have said, Mishum de ben pruta lepochas mishve pruta lo kimlu leinchi. That's a very, very logical idea. You know what? Maybe he didn't know if it's shover pruta or not. Sometimes the difference between pruta and shev pruta, people what's lo kim lahu? They don't know. They're not aware. It makes a lot of sense, right? Many times, look at the very frum chuppahs, the way it should be. What does it say? They check that the tabas is shover pruta. Today, a silver ring is shover pruta, yeah? But maybe sometimes it's not so clear. Yeah, let's you live in a very rich place. For them, maybe, it's not so simple that it's relative. Let's go with relativity. Maybe that ring, very cheap ring, is not shover pruta in that place. Yeah, a ring 10 shekels, maybe it's not shover pruta. I'm not saying that's the truth la'alocha, just suggesting. So maybe because we're now sort of like running on the scale between pruta shever pruta, maybe the person is still stuck in his mistake because he thought it was shover pruta and really wasn't, right? And therefore still in a mistake, and the Siblonos are continuing the same nothingness, the same mistake. Aval cotton, 1 second. Aval cotton shekidesh. Oh, a cotton, everybody knows is under bar mitzvah. You don't go wrong there. The letter was clearly a cotton, it was 11 years old, not 12 even. A cotton shekidesh, hakol yoidin, shen kiddush cotton klum, right? A little boy, everybody knows it's nothing, right? Because it's garnished with garnish. Ema, and therefore, I would say, kika meshadel sibloinos. There I would stress strongly that if he is meshadel sibloinos, he gives the sibloinos after he grew up, after the bar mitzvah, adata the kiddushika meshadel. I would say he's trying to fix the mistake which he realized because people told him, "Oh, sweetie, cutesy little one. Oh, that's such a cute thing." But you know that it doesn't work. Everybody knows the kot is not mekadesh. Oh, so now he's giving sibloinus with his hat and jacket. Yeah. After what? After the bar mitzvah, as kiddushin. Kamash malan. We don't say that. Why don't we say that? Says the Ritva. Why not? If it's such a clear, blatant, clear, black and white, glaring mistake that the cotton was mekadesh, yeah, playing daddy mommy, excuse me. So then, really, why don't we say that he realized the mistake, or his parents realized it, or someone realized it, and then the Siblonos or Kiddushin? Says the Ritva, you know what the mistake he could make? He could have said, listen to this, brilliant. He could have said, I know that I cannot be Mekadesh with her, Mekadesh of the cotton, and that's it. But I saw the Kiddushin grow with me. In other words, that the Kiddushin, yeah, in other words, he thought that is Mekadesh her, just like I'm growing up, the Kiddushin now begin to apply. He thought, the cotton, that if he's Mekadesh her by the age of 12, for the first year she's not Mekudeshes, but it's a standby. Once I grow up, then my Kiddushin will apply. I don't know what, yeah, maybe. What? No, it's not what Rashi said. Rashi says, Sholach Siblonis Meshehigdil. Yeah. Yeah. No, Rashi says once he grew, then he sent the Siblonos. The Ritva says more. The Ritva says that he actually saw, the Ritva explains his mistake, Rashi doesn't. The Ritva explains the mistake and he says The cotton knows they learned in Cheder, cotton can't be Mekadesh. They thought, okay, I can't be Mekadesh now, and she's not my wife yet. But I can be Mekadesh as a standby. Yeah. It's like, the teenagers in Israel, they say once you're 16, you can have the theory test, then you get the license when you're, I don't know, 17, whenever this disaster happens, then when they get the license. Yeah, but I'm saying it's like a temporary thing, then it will apply. I know it's strange, but Ktanim think that way, okay?
So, on the mass that he's sort of like reserving her.
That's what he thought. It's enough to be a logical mistake. The Seder Tzvi, right? The Seder, but that is, he thinks it's a process. He thinks that Enochinami. Now it's Kiddushin, right? But the Kiddushin is in a standby. When I grow up, the Kiddushin will kick in, will start applying, and that's it. And the Siblonos are not Kiddushin, so she's my wife. Once I'm bar mitzvah, she's my wife for life. Now the Siblonos are the matana. That's what he thinks. It's enough to have a logical mistake. That's all we need. Itmar, yes, questions? Okay, we still have some time for questions. Yeah, you are interested in saying something. I want to hear you. Yeah. On the same topic of Siblonos, Itmar. Let's see. Itmar. Rav Huna Omar Choshishin LeSiblonos. Oh, big machlokes Rishonim. Let's follow Rashi. Rashi says as follows. Choshishin LeSiblonos. I'm reading Rashi inside, a few lines below the beginning of the narrow lines. Choshishin LeSiblonos. Mishashidach be'isha. A man and a woman were mishtadech. They're agreed already, v'nisratzo, or v'nisratzto, they want to get married. The kodem sholach Siblonos be'edim, he sent us Siblonos be'edim before there was any known Kiddushin. It looks as if he jumped the gun, changed the order. They agreed already, yeah, I'll marry you, amazing proposal, and what? Now he sent to the Siblonos, right? What happened with Edim, as I told you? We're concerned that maybe it's not Siblonos, maybe he switched the order. Actually, it didn't switch the order. Although it looks like Siblonos, because he didn't do it himself, he sent it with the Edim, he sent it with people, which is more accepted behavior of Siblonos. He looks like Siblonos, behaves like Siblonos, but mitzad the chronology, the step-by-step process, what's he doing now should be Kiddushin, because there were no prior Kiddushin. There was Shidduchim, proposal, she agreed. Now what's next? Siblonos. Must be those Siblonos are what? Are really Kiddushin. That's not the case of our Mishnah. There was no Kiddushin Bichlal. There was no bad Kiddushin. There was no Kiddushin. Yeah, imagine yourself like, you go online, you're in board games, you have a few like circles, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3. Download, waiting, uploading 10 times. Yeah. So you have a few stages. Shidduchim, Nisratzta. What's the next move? Should be Kiddushin. Now he sent to Siblonos. What's that? Says Rashi, Choishishin Shem Kiddushin Hen. We're choishish that those things who behave like Siblonos, because it's sent by people, not by himself, we're concerned that this is Kiddushin, maybe. If she's niskadish to another guy, she still needs, well, hopefully prior to that, get from the first guy. Yeah, the first guy, he left her. We don't know what he wants. He's not talking. He's problematic, the first guy. But Lamaisa, we are concerned that those Siblonos, because we follow a certain order, are really not Siblonos or Kiddushin. That is what Rav Huna said. This is Rashi. I'm not looking now to other Rishonim because I think the sugya is, I don't want to confuse you more. I'll just tell you in short, Tosis and others say that if it was Siblonos, we choshish that they were Miskadish before, secretly. If the Siblonos now means that between the proposal and the Siblonos, there was Kiddushin, which we don't know about. That's Tosis. Let's stay with Rashi for now. Exactly. Right, exactly. If Siblonos already came to life, to fruition, must be there was some more Kiddushin, they eloped, were Miskadish, and came back. Now, Rabba also says that Siblonos are Choshishin, are suspected, we're concerned that Siblonos really are Kiddushin, following Rashi. Omar Rabba, Rabba says, I'm going to ask on my own words. I'm going to challenge myself from our Mishnah. Why? What did we see in our Mishnah? In our Mishnah we saw, in our Mishnah we see a guy who sent Siblonos, and we say that those Siblonos are not Kiddushin, and we're not concerned that the Siblonos are Kiddushin, right? So the Chor we see that we never interpret Siblonos to be Kiddushin, not like I'm saying here, I'm following Rashi. Not like Rabba said that although it looks like Siblonos, feels like Siblonos, we choshish it's Kiddushin. In the Mishnah, we saw that the guy, after the said mistake, sent Siblonos, and we're not concerned that it's Kiddushin. So the Chayra, the Mishnah, is not so good with me. Now Abai is coming to his help. Abai is helping Rabba understand his own pshat. Amar le Abaye, Abaye was Rabba's Talmud. Abaye answering Rabba says, no, awesome, don't worry, you are right, Rabba. There's a difference between the Mishnah's case and your case. Anyone who understood the Mishnah and the case can clearly see the difference. Awesome, in the Mishnah over there, thank you very much. Of course, over there, we're not concerned about the Siblonos being Kiddushin. You know why? Because we assume that the first Kiddushin that were clearly bad ones, the first Kiddushin were invalid, dysfunctional, and therefore he believes what? Oh, the Siblonos are the second stage in the board game. I did Kiddushin already, now I'm doing Siblonos. He's wrong from beginning till the end. Therefore, there the Siblonos are not Kiddushin. Mashenkin, this guy, there was no bad Kiddushin before. There were dates, yeah, in this hotel, in that park. Then what? There was proposal. The next stage should be Kiddushin, and he did up until now everything right. Mimela, I would say maybe Enechinami, although it has the feel of Siblonos, really it's Kiddushin. The Mishnah doesn't reflect because the Mishnah was a mistake. Here there was no prior mistake, so you can't compare it. And therefore, Rabbah is not now. We're not saying Rabbah is right or wrong, but Rabbah is not challenged by the Mishnah. Ikadamri. Some say that it's the same conversation between Rabbah and Abaye, but just the other way around. Yeah, same concept. Whoop, swapping them around. Amar Rabbah, Mina Aminalo. According to this version, Rabbah is actually finding a source in the Mishnah. You know why I am right when I say that a guy, what did he do? Dates, tick. Proposal, tick. She said yes. Ah. And then what? And then what's the next stage? Siblonos. I assume the Siblonos are what's the next stage? Kiddushin. That's what's coming up next, right? Let's follow chronology and not the feel of it. And you know, I have a source for what I'm saying. Why? Kedektani Taima. Look, it says in the Mishnah, which I'm now bringing as a support for what I'm saying. What did the Mishnah say? Why is it that in the Mishnah we were not concerned that the Siblonos are Kiddushin? Taima. What's Taima? We brought a reason for that. Shemachmas Kiddushin Rishonim Sholach. We said, you know why the Siblonos over there are not Kiddushin? Because this guy, in his mistake, believes foolishly that he gave Kiddushin already. So he's continuing a bad mahalach. But over there, he made the mistake. He made a mistake. But Hobe Alma have a Kiddushin. Mashma, clearly, it's a strong raya. Mashma that if not for that prior mistake, if not for him starting everything on left foot, if everything else went right, mashma that Siblonos can be Kiddushin. Again, let's repeat the proof. Rabbi is trying to prove his point by saying what? Look, I'm concerned that if it's in the right context, in the right stage in the process, I believe that even though it looks like Siblonos, let's say it's a gift which is accepted to give a Siblonos. You know, people get really crazy with being very following the norm. You know, you have to give the watch and then the pearls and then this, like insane stupidity. And the flower, and this Shabbos, not the other Shabbos, like all Torah. The kids are not against giving gifts, but it has to follow very like kitzer. And then what? So then, let's say he gave the right gift, yeah, but there's no Kiddushin before. Says Rabbah, that's a Kiddushin, yeah, because by the order of things, that's what's fitting now to this stage in the process, yeah. And you know why I'm right? Because look at the Mishnah. Why did the Mishnah say that we're not concerned to what I'm saying? Because that guy made the mistake right from the start. He had Kiddushin in his mind. He's like playing a board game, but the board game is wrong to begin with. He's following the right stages, but he started bad. He started with bad Kiddushin. Mimela the Siblonos, in his mind, clearly are Siblonos. He's giving the post-Kiddushin gifts, because in his mind it was Kiddushin. Mashma that if not for that, if not for making the initial mistake, then other than that, we would be concerned that Kiddushin and Siblonos are one and the same. We would be concerned that Siblonos really are for Kiddushin because there was no Kiddushin before, and everything else was done right before. Abaye, now Abaye's turn is the other way around, is to Keilu show Rabbah that is not necessarily right. Abaye is now coming to do the other way around to show Rabbah that the Mishnah is not a proof to what he says. Abaye is not going to argue on Rabbah in principle, but Abaye is going to say, no, Rabbah, the Mishnah is not a proof to your point. Why? Says Abaye, Lomi Baika Omar. Abai says no. When the Mishnah says something, it's not always exclusive. Sometimes it's lomi bai. What's lomi bai? In English, I call it needless to say. Needless to say X, but even Y. Lomi bai be'alma deloy nochis latos kedushin klal. Oh, here comes the big anti-Rabba Svora. Of course, that if there was a date and there was a thing, there was no Kiddushin. They agreed to get married, but doesn't mean they met, they dated. Okay, she was nisratzta to marry him, but they didn't mamish decide. There's no Kiddushin. Kiddushin ma'adechar shmei. Yeah, there was Siblonos. You know these Siblonos are gifts. He's giving her a gift before the Kiddushin. He's not following the rules. There was no Kiddushin. Clearly, no. Siblonos are not Kiddushin. There was no Kiddushin yet. Ella, the Chiddush is, even this guy from the Mishnah who had Kiddushin already in his mind, Kiddushin, I would have said, maybe now these are the real Kiddushin because he tried to Mekadosh already. The guy in the Mishnah is wrong, but he's already in the stage of Mekadosher. So it makes sense that he got back to yeshiva. He spoke to his rabbi, to the Chaverim, and they said, no, you did the wrong thing. Oh, but he's already holding be'etzem in Kiddushin. He's in the third stage of Kiddushin already. I would have said the Siblonos are Kiddushin. Kamash malan. Oh, very good. So again, let's summarize. Let's summarize. Everything is good. In the Mishnah, there are two stories here. There's the Mishnah guy and there is the Rabbah guy. The Mishnah guy had the wrong kind of Kiddushin. Mitzidoi, me'atzmoi, he's interested already in doing Kiddushin, and so is she. He did the wrong thing. He gave her half a pruta. He was too young. Do that. Mimele, afterwards he gave Siblonos. What do we assume the Siblonos are? They are Siblonos. He's not trying to fix the old mistake, but he continues to go on his bad path, so we assume, and we're not choshesh unless known otherwise. She's muchzekes not to be married. There's chazaka also. You should know, as much as we're machmir be'eshetish, if you follow chazaka, as we're going to soon see, she's muchzek to be a pnuya, not an eshetish. We continue her behavior as a non-mekudeshes, as a single girl, because of no kiddushin. There was some kind of funny thing. Then there was gifts. Very nice gift. Thank you very much. Rabbah had a different idea. Rabbah spoke about a guy who didn't do anything wrong, except for changing the order, meaning they dated, nisratzta. She conceptually was misratzed to be his wife at some point later, they don't know when. Then Siblonos. What's that? So then Rabbah says, here I'm concerned. There was no bad history, right? We know they want to be miskadish. That's the next stage that's anticipated. I know that you could say that it's just a gift before the Kiddushin. We say, no, this guy's a good kid. He's a good kid. He was born, raised very nicely in a place starting with B. All very nice, all very good, all by the book. And therefore what? Obviously, he wouldn't switch the order. So what's he doing now? Kiddushin. He sent it to two people. That's why it's two people to aid him. Two people with a big black kippah on their head. Mistama, these are the Eidim. And really those Siblonos are the Kiddushin. We don't know that, but it's enough to be concerned. That's what Rabbah said. And at the end of the whole topsy-turvy with the Rabbah and Abaye, Rabbah doesn't have support from the Mishnah, but he doesn't have resistance from the Mishnah. The Mishnah is the Mishnah, and Rabbah is Rabbah, they can coexist. My Havi Allah. Rek the Gemara, no. My Havi Allah. What's the halacha? What did Chachamim say about it, Lamaskono? Do we or do we not assume that the Siblonos are Kiddushin? Are we or aren't we concerned that it's Kiddushin, the Siblonos? Amar Pope, depends. Oh, now we're going to see the different minhagim. The Asa, the Mikadshi, the Adam Sabli, in the place where normal, as we said all along, it's normal for the Chassanim to first give Kiddushin, she is his Kala, and then Misabli, and then they give the gifts. Chayshinan, we're concerned. Why? Because now the first stage after the dates should be Kiddushin. So I assume that that gift is following the right order, and it's Kiddushin. But Misabli Badr Mekachi, in a different town, out of towners, I don't know, other people, what do? Misabli in Manchester, Misabli Badr Mekachi. Some places they give the gifts, and then they do the Kiddushin. Then lo cheshinan. Then obviously we're not choshesh that he's doing the right order without kiddushin. They dated, they decided, stars in their eyes and everything. What's the next stage? Siblonos. So the Siblonos. Why did he send it to 280? Because he wanted two people to make sure that she receives it. Lamaisa, Siblonos. The kiddushin are coming next in the board game. What's the chiddush? If the norm of the place is to give kiddushin and then Siblonos, aren't we clear that the first thing that's next in line, although you thought it's Siblonos, it's Kiddushin, especially to Aiden brought it. So of course it's Kiddushin. Avada, we have to be concerned. It's especially Eshetish. Be concerned that he's following the right order. So the next stage is Kiddushin. So of course it's Kiddushin and not Stam gift. Answers the Gemara, very, very big Kiddush. Lo Tzricha. There is a Kiddush here. The Ruba, most people in town, Mekachi Vadal Misabli. Let's stop right here for a second. Let's pause a second. Most people do Kiddushin and then Siblonos, not all of them. Usually, I think in Halacha, you follow the Roiv, right? And Roiv people, it's normal for most guys in town to give Kiddushin now. So I would say what he gave was Kiddushin. So what's the other factor? Listen to this. Umiuta Misabli Vadar Mekachi. The minority gives Siblonos at this stage. The next circle in the game, for some people, for 40%, it's Siblonos. Okay. Mal de tema, I would have thought, Nechush lemiuta. I would say, let's follow the mute. Let's follow the minority and say that she's for sure not an Eshetish. Kamash Malan. Are you fainting? Almost. Did you hear what the Gemara just said? The Gemara said it's an Eshetish, right? So, Sofik. Let's follow the minority and be Meko. Send her home, say you don't need any get. This guy is all trouble, all this funny behavior. You can follow the mute, and therefore you're not an Eshetish. That's cool. What? Explains the Tosas Riazoken, and that is as follows, following the opinion of Shmuel in Bava Basra. It says like that. What is this woman? As I hinted to you before, this woman, up until now, what was she? What did she know to be? Since born till now, she's muchzak to be Pnuya. Oh. And there is a concept that Shmuel believes in, where metzaref miut to a chazaka. One could say that because she's muchdekes to be a pnuya, she's assumed up until now to be a non-married woman, a single woman, plus you have a mute. Maybe the mute and the chazaka gang up against the roiv. That's a havamina. Maybe that's what you should follow, and you should follow the mute because there's a chazaka of her. She's muchzak to be non-married, right? Plus, some people also mute and chazaka maybe are stronger than roiv. That's a strong havamina. Kamash malan, no. Kamash malan, that we still follow the roiv and we stay, especially by Eshes Ish, we have more concern than by other places because it's a very, very severe thing. We follow the roiv even against the chazaka. That's a chiddush. Now, bo'amine, we have to, let's try and get to the Mishnah. One more minute, yeah. And this is something which I think Alan, you asked me once. Somebody asked me this, and I think it was you. A whole different story. Goodbye, Siblonos. Beautiful pearls. Let's now put the Siblonos in the side, yeah, in a nice box. Let's say you see a ksuba written, you know who wrote the ksuba to him? Chaim Yankel wrote a star ksuba to Shprin Tzabela, and you see the ksuba, and you don't know. Now Shprin Tzabela claims I'm not married, and I want to marry another guy. I want to marry somebody else. I want to marry Avramele, right? So shall we say if there's a ksuba written to her, maybe that's a proof of marriage? It's a very, very big question, right? I think you asked it. Is ksuba a proof of marriage? We see all of a sudden somewhere, we see in the shul somewhere we found the ksuba of him writing the ksuba to her. If there's a ksuba written under a name from Chaim Yankel, must be she was married to Chaim Yankel. And she says no, and she says no, I want to marry Avramele without receiving a get from Chaim Yankel. Is the ksuba proof of marriage or not? Yes or no? Let's see. The initial answer of Rava is just because there's a star ksuba in the market, is she an Eshes Ish? She is not holding the ksuba in her hands, by the way. That could have been different that she received the ksuba. We know that the ksuba written in her name, and Rava's initial answer is really, for sure, it doesn't mean anything. Why? Because we probably assume that sometimes ksuba, actually always, you tell me, yeah, you've been to enough chasanis in your life? Good. So now, the ksuba is written, I'm not saying given, written, before she receives the finger in her, the ring in her finger, right? Yeah. So the ksuba is written before Kiddushin, right? Maybe ksuba was written, and then I don't know. Then something happened. The chassan didn't take place, right? Oh, that's what he says. Just because the ksuba written somewhere out there doesn't mean she actually received it. She was miskadish. My havi Allah. What's the halacha l'maisa? Amar Vashi depends. The asra the mikadshi the hadar katzvi ksuva. Believe it or not, Some places they would do Kiddushin, and then they would write the Ksuba. Again, today we do everything in one go. But back then, between the Kiddushin and the Nisu'in, when she's supposed to receive the Ksuba, there's a long time. So if it's normal to be Miskadish, then write the Ksuba, then what? First is Kiddushin, then the Ksuba. Chashinan, of course we have to be concerned. Because if Ksuba is written, means what? If Ksuba is written, must be Shuz Mekudeshes. If the stages are Kiddushin, then Ksuba, then Nisuin. If Ksuba is written, must be Shuz Mekudeshes. You can't go free and marry Avrei Maleh. But Kasvi V'Hadam Mikadshi, Lo Chashinan. If they write the Ksuba and then they do the Kiddushin, as is customary today, you don't have to be Choshesh. There's a Ksuba written, so what? There's a Ksuba written. Maybe who says she got married to him? She was miskadish to him later. Frek the Gemara, the same question as before. Mekachi v'adar kasvi pshita. Of course, what's a chiddush? If there's always kiddushin and then ksuba, so every ksuba is written only to a mikudesh's girl. What's a chiddush? Of course, if there's a ksuba on her name, avadet means there was kiddushin before. Lo itzricha. There is an answer. There is a chiddush here. The lo shchiach safra. They live in a town, a small town. They live in a Hupitzville, Portugal, where there's hardly ever a soifer in town, right? There's no soifer in that city, in that town. Once there's a soifer, they quickly chaperein. Yeah, once a soifer is in town, the chaperein, and they say, write me all the stores in the word quick, before you miss the train. Mal de Tema, I would have thought, Safro de Isrami, would have said, listen, normally you do Kiddushin and then Ksuba. But you know what? Hey, we're supposed to have the Kiddushin ceremony in 3 days, and the Sefer came now. Let's hop around quickly and do what? And get the Sefer to write the Ksuba before the Kiddushin, because he's leaving in the next plane back to England, right? So maybe in such cases, I would have thought maybe to be choishesh that Ksuba, right? Actually, not to be choishesh, to say that the Ksuba does not indicate Kiddushin. Ksuba was pre-written before Kiddushin because of the urgency of the Sefer. Kamash Malan, that no, that we are choishesh. We are choishesh, clearly so. In most cases, that doesn't happen. Most cases, there's Kiddushin followed by Ksuba. If there's a Ksuba, must be those Kiddushin before. And therefore, she's Mekudeshes, or at least we have to be strongly concerned she's Mekudeshes. Thank you to everybody on YouTube and on Torah anytime. And anybody else who watches us or listens to us. May Hashem hear our tefillas and our Torah and be Meshacher. The captives should come back home very, very, very soon with Mashiach. Good day.